Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Squat Cobbler. I'm Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram.
And I am Dr. Mike at Official Pagan on everything. And now is a good time to tell you guys to like and subscribe. I know we picked up a few recent subscribers. That's awesome. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Please leave some comments, interact with us, let us know what kind of stuff you want us to talk about. Obviously, we love retro gaming. We love Alice Cooper. If that's in your wheelhouse, you're going to love the show. Because, I mean, who doesn't like Ellie and I?
That's right. We're pleasant. I can't.
Man, you sold it.
We're not overly onerous. I don't know. Yeah, I'm still basking in the glow of the last time you mentioned subscriptions. I figured finish it off with a little, and it synced up just perfect with the graphic. And so I was like, yeah, it's like we knew what we were doing. But so I wasn't going to try to catch lightning in a bottle a second time. But we're very excited to kind of jump on here and put together kind of a quick little show because we want to give folks, you probably have read about it or heard about it, but the AtGames Legends Core, which has been available for pre-order for a while, has come out of pre-order, and if you've gotten your name and you're on the list, you can go ahead and order it, and once they get your order and your payment, 7 to 10 business days after that, you'll be the proud owner of AtGames Legend Core. And you know, two guys are going to have it. These two guys. So now,
Dude, I was so excited when I got that email this morning because, as Kelly mentioned, up to this point, if you guys aren't familiar, you had to reserve your unit. And then once it was ready to ship, that's when the reservation could be switched over to the actual purchase. And you had a certain amount of time, according to the email, to get that purchase completed.
yeah, and then they followed that up with some additional offers related to it, and we'll probably talk a little bit about both of those too. One of them dealt with packaging. You could get your Legends Core, but you could also get 3 months worth of bring your own game, Cloud Bring Your Own Game on the site, and kind of in conjunction with all this happening, the Cloud BYOG, which had been in beta and free for anyone to use, has now moved out of beta and now has moved into a pay model where it's $20 a month to participate in that. And they addressed what had been the biggest irritant for folks is when you would log into, if you didn't log into the Cloud Bring Your Own Game once every 7 days, it would wipe your data. You'd have to kind of reload everything. And that didn't go over too well with folks, as you might imagine.
I can imagine. In 7 days is tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good chance you're playing it once a week. If you're, particularly if you're using that, you're probably more of a serious gamer and you're doing some things. But life happens, and every once in a while it may not be 7 days. But so they're packaging that up, where you'll get 3 months with that and the core for $90, which is a pretty good deal. Or
Sounds right.
you can get a second Legends Core for 50% off ish, close, $90 again. So Legend Core is, Mike and I always get this wrong, $49.99, I believe.
Right? $59.99.
See, I told you we always get it wrong.
$59.99 because with shipping it came out to like $65.
Yeah. So still super in terms of what you get with this thing. There's nothing that can touch it.
Plus, to get into this whole AtGames Legends architecture with the Bring Your Own Game and all of the shared experiences and everything with it at such a low price point, not shelling out $500-$600 for a standalone arcade cabinet or a pinball table, but just kind of an entryway into that, you really can't go wrong with $50 or $60. Now, for newcomers like myself, can you kind of explain what the Bring Your Own Game Cloud is?
Yeah, absolutely. It is, if you don't have kind of a gaming quality PC, either your graphics card isn't strong enough or you don't have enough processing power, AtGames has set up an infrastructure where you can log into Cloud, Bring Your Own Games, and you basically log into it and you're presented with what looks like and is a Windows desktop. And so from that Windows desktop, you can go to Google, you can do searches on Google, you can download Steam, you can install Steam in your space, and that was If you didn't come back in 7 days, that installation is the thing you'd have to redo. But you could basically, just like you would on your laptop or your PC, you go and you download Steam, you get it available as a local application, and then you'd run it. But instead of you running it on hardware sitting in your house, you're running on a hardware stack that AtGames is maintaining that's built and optimized for gaming. So you really kind of, depending on what your hardware situation is, it lets you kind of step up. You do then have to wrestle with, you're doing that through the cloud, so you get into some of the latency and some of those pieces there. But I did a little bit when it was in the free beta with Steam, and I mean it was nice. I mean, I didn't really have much of a problem at all with it, but it lets you do that, and you have so much storage that you can kind of then, I think it's like 66 gig of storage that's available to you. Some of that's taken up with the Windows operating system, and you can go on that. So if you're kind of not in a position where you've got a strong gaming system, that lets you do a lot of stuff with Steam and other games as well. A lot of people have been using it for pinball.
Now, have you had any issues streaming not using the cloud?
If I do it 100% Wi-Fi, I've done some things to kind of create more of a mesh network in the house from a Wi-Fi network. So if all the conversation's occurring through Wi-Fi, I'll get some lag. So what I've done, because the free streaming, so I've got Steam on my laptop, I can go ahead and fire it up. I can go ahead and start up ArcadeNet, which is getting renamed to, I think, to Legends Connect or something along those lines. But I can run a piece of software. We have video out on it where you can basically stream your desktop to the AtGames and go that way. I've ended up running an Ethernet cable between my laptop and my AtGames for when I'm doing that. That really helps a lot. So I've really not had... I've just had to tweak the resolution a little bit to kind of make sure I get everything squared away. But the pinball arcade on Steam, that gets a lot of use, where I fire it up on the laptop and play it on the Legends unit. The one part I've not mastered, that it creates what's called a virtual audio cable. And so you kind of connect your speakers to that from your laptop. You say, use this for my sound. And so that's supposed to just drive the sound exclusively, I think, supposed to, exclusively to the AtGames Legend unit. It does successfully do that. I get sound out of the AtGames unit, but my laptop's still going too. So I have to typically over and stick a pair of earphones in to the laptop to knock that speaker down. So it just comes out of the AtGames. But in terms of kind of connectivity and local streaming, which remains 100% free, if you own the games and you're just doing it on your network, you can play the games on the AtGames Legend using the ArcadeNet streaming software, and you can kind of have at it. I've not had a problem with that. What I've had a huge problem on, what I want to do, is be able to play the Wolfenstein online game that we played the one time. Oh, you didn't play. I'm sorry.
No, I wasn't invited.
You weren't invited to that
Wolfhead party.
Yeah, enemy territory. Good time. Boy, that was fun. There's video. All the fun.
Looked at.
Yeah, all the fun we had. You know, you can go watch that to see
all the fun they had.
Yeah, it was good. But I've had trouble getting that operating just on the laptop. So that's the only streaming one that I'm currently fighting with. But I would love to get that working, so that we can set up another game, not invite you again,
Probably.
and probably record it. It'd be great. No, you're in next time. You're totally in. So,
Sure. Remember, everybody, that he said this.
Yeah. So, but yeah, overall that's great. But that's kind of BYOG. And so when you think about the kind of core AtGames infrastructure in terms of what they have, there's the onboard games, 350 on the Legends 1.0, 300 I think on the 1.1. There's going to be 100 on the core. Which, you know, the 350 that came with the original Legends, the 1.0, you know, there's a little bit of padding in there. There's like an alphabet game from Atari and a color game, a lot of 2600 games that you're probably not going to play on your Legends. So going down to
honestly, that I probably already have on the Fight Stick.
Yeah, Yeah, you probably do. And so you're going to get a nice cross section of games with the core. Again, this is amazing what's going to come with this thing for the price point. You're going to get those.
Yeah, I was looking over the game list. There's definitely some really great games on there. The one that I was excited about, and I actually have so after AtGames had put out the Legends arcade unit, they've at some point were planning on continuing, and I noticed they've stopped this, continuing making their little plug and play consoles, but they were going to make Legends editions of them where you could buy these, either play it as the plug and play or use the console to add games to your Legends arcade unit. So the first one that had come out, and it seemed like there was, I didn't try this. I don't have the Legends arcade console like Kelly does. But I saw some people having issues with this in their various YouTube videos on it as far as transferring the games over. But I do have that plug and play, the Legends plug and play that came out right after the arcade unit did. And that has one of my favorite Genesis games, which is the Aladdin game.
Oh, yep.
For Genesis is on there, and that's included on the course. I was excited about that.
Yeah, and that's a fun one. And I've also got I think 3 versions of it on my Super Console X, and so I can play Aladdin on many different platforms.
Genesis one was the best, though.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. So you got the games, so they're there. You then got something that's called ArcadeNet. ArcadeNet is still in beta. ArcadeNet, when it will become a subscription at some point in time, very unclear what that subscription amount's going to be. Think about ArcadeNet as kind of a game Netflix. So it's going to be, you can go in, and right now on ArcadeNet you can go and play these games, and you're playing them in the cloud. So it's not loaded locally, you're playing the games there. On some occasion you might get a little, depending on what your internet connection's operating like, you could get a little bit of lag on that, but think about it more as a kind of a pay-per-play. I'm going to buy this game on ArcadeNet, and now I can play it when I want. But it's still very unclear on, is it a one rental? Is it you buy the game and you've got it permanently? Is there
that's what I was going to
fee?
ask. Can you just buy digital copies of games, or is it just a streaming situation?
Unclear. I mean, they seem to apparently have the licensing squared away, that right now there's good 20, 30 games on there that you can go in and play. So they've got the licensing squared away on that for repeated use. So I'm assuming you could buy it, but they've really not advanced much on what the kind of the economics on that are. But it is another place where you're going to be able to secure appropriately licensed ROMs for your system.
The only kind.
That's the only kind we'd like. And then there's BYOG, the Cloud BYOG, Steam, other things there. Basically, you kind of rent game level laptop power and do that, and some storage. And then the settings and the utilities, which include the chat, so you can kind of do Bluetooth, you can chat with folks while you're playing. And we will be doing another video soon talking about some super cool stuff that's happening with pinball, and both with pinball and a few select games, I believe, in the main stack you can co-play. And so that's been the holy grail for Mike and I, is to be able to kind of jump on and play a pinball game together and talk smack. So we're looking forward to that. And so he'll get his core. He's going to be in the network, so they're going to be able to do that. Now, did you decide to take them up on either of those offers, or are you just going to get the core?
Not sure yet. So I got the same email that you did. Still trying to decide. So we're going to have the core here, and the way that I'm planning it, what's going to be great is the core is just going to be so portable. So once traveling is a little bit more accessible, that's just something I can take with me, and that's going to be great as far as not just gaming, but even being able to produce content or play games with you wherever I'm at. That's awesome. But just being able to take that everywhere with me, especially because prior to the pandemic, I split my time between 2 different states usually. I've just been in Pennsylvania for the most part this year. Typically, though, I split my time between Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So that'll presumably be resuming at some point. So that'll be cool. But also, too, like when I was talking about the fight stick, there's a lot of room in that box still. So I think when it's at home, the core is just going to go right in that box. I'm going to be using that as my main controller for it. I'm also going to throw another Raspberry Pi in there. So, and maybe a Super Console X at some point. So I'm going to be set,
Yeah.
ready to go for whatever my emulation needs are. So I think it'll be in there. So I don't know if I need a second one. I'm not. I think it could be a dangerous slippery slope though to subscribe to the Bring Your Own Game Cloud, and then if I really start relying on that once my cheaper purchase time is up, do I really want to pay, what was it, $20 a month or whatever it is for that? If I start relying on that too much, especially traveling and things like that. So it's gonna be a tough decision, a tough call to make there.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the second one, 50% off, because I think that will make a fine gift at some point for somebody.
Nice. Do you have anybody in mind for that?
Not you.
Well,
you got one. You got one. You're good.
Yeah.
I've got some ideas. I'm going to kind of keep those under my hat for now, but I got some ideas. But the other part might be the reason I want to definitely keep it in my head, because the other thing is just I might just keep it and use it as if I'm going to eventually build an arcade unit or a fake pin, because the I'm assuming that this will work is that because the Legends core is it's just a puck. It's a streaming device that you connect it to a monitor and you connect it to a controller. So it just comes with that, the central part. I believe, since I can set it up with a monitor, I might be able to spin that monitor to portrait mode and to kind of be able to rotate the display so that I get like a really good sized display for the pinball, kind of going vertically versus horizontally. So that's tempting. That might eventually get dedicated to there, where the other one would stay connected to the projector downstairs for that. But the other part is, I've got a projector that launches a 6-foot image, a tall image on a wall. So I don't really need a monitor because I can play it there. It just depends form factor if you want to kind of have more of that pinball feel or play it on a controller. So we'll see. But exciting times. Good stuff.
Definitely.
If you folks haven't, I'm not clear. Mike and I rushed to get onto that registered list to pre-order. I'm not sure kind of once they get done with us and all that, how quickly it becomes available. But I'm assuming they were getting ready. They knew they were going to have some demand here. This is a tremendously well-priced product. So keep an eye out.
I feel like if they're offering second units at a discount, they have to have made a decent amount of these.
You would think.
Or we've really pissed off a lot of people who aren't going to be able to get them. And we're just like, I'm on the fence if I need to.
I'm not sure, but I'm going to take the one that Bob could have gotten. Take it out of the market. Sorry about that, Bob. So sorry, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab a second one just because I can. And it's half price, so what can you say on that? So good times. We wanted to get this one out pretty quick because this news was all kind of breaking. It's going to be fun. It'll be in a few weeks here. Our Legend cores will be making the way to the individual households. We'll get set up, and we'll certainly do a show or two talking about that once we get them. So with that, I think we're going to wrap this one up. You got anything else to add, sir, before we go?
No, I think that's everything for this one. Again, everybody please like, subscribe, and leave us some comments. All of that helps with YouTube's algorithm, so we would really appreciate that.
Yep. Thanks very much.